This Family Life News podcast is made possible by the support of listeners like you.
Using the power of the pen in a world of electronic communication. Welcome back to another edition of Hometown Heroes on Family Life. I'm Mark Webster. April is National Card and Letter Writing Month, and this week's guest is no stranger to that lost art. Tammy Dunmire, wife of Pastor Steve Dunmire at Victory Highway Wesleyan Church in Painted Post, New York, has been handwriting cards and letters most of her life, but says it began to take the form of a ministry a decade ago. Take me back to when this began for you. It was born of a serious illness.
Yeah, so in 2016, I had major surgery, and as a result, I received a lot of get well cards, as people often do, and I decided to take it upon myself to write back to everybody that had sent me get well notes or had done meal trains for our family as thank you notes. And as that pile dwindled away, I was really just struggling with how the Lord could use me in that season of my recovery. And I just prayed a very simple prayer, asking the Lord to show me ways that I could be his hands and feet during my recovery period. And as a result, the Lord had given me a few names, people that I could encourage for my bedroom walls, and sent them notes. And when they responded about how the Holy Spirit had used my cards that arrived just at the right time, my personal ministry was born. I realized that the Lord could use this in a very powerful way. And so I just fell in love with writing cards, and I wrote as many as I possibly could during that recovery year for myself.
Right. And so this then morphed into something even bigger, like an actual formal ministry at church.
Yeah, so I shared with a few friends about what I was doing, and I found that, of course, there were other people like me who enjoyed writing cards, but never really thought about it as a ministry opportunity. And so I started a card ministry at my church, and we used it as an opportunity to reach within our church congregation, but also within our community to come alongside people and to be praying for them and to thank and appreciate the ways that they were serving.
Mm-hmm. So you did that at your former church, and now you're doing that at Victory. And give us a sense of, you and a team of folks, I guess, are writing a whole lot of cards.
Yeah, so I've continued my personal ministry, but our card ministry group sends out about 150 or so cards as a group every month for various different projects that we've taken on, whether it be assisted living places or nursing homes, to our local firemen, paramedics, and police officers. We've written to schools to just love and appreciate our teachers who are serving our community faithfully, to our local businesses, any way that we can possibly reach into our community and to thank them for the ways that they're serving. Our church has been trying to come alongside of them and to just love on them for what they're doing and to show them the love of Jesus through pen and paper.
Yeah, the power of the pen, somebody once said, and this is a little different take on that theme. It's got to be really gratifying for folks to get that sort of personalized letter from you, and I imagine you're getting some pretty cool feedback.
Yeah, it's been really neat to hear the stories. You know, we live in a world where we don't really get much personalized mail anymore, and people have really just given feedback on our notes always seem to come right at the time where they were really struggling, and how the Holy Spirit just used that in a way to encourage them. It's been really special to hear about how many people had kept the cards and have gone back to those over and over again when they were really feeling discouraged. It was neat to see some of the local businesses had pasted them up in their windows, that they just really appreciated the prayer and support they were getting. So it's been really cool to hear how God has used that and opened up doors in our community in ways that we never saw possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you shared with me earlier that writing has been something that's been with you almost your whole life, going back to a childhood pen pal.
I do. I still keep in contact with my childhood pen pal. She and I will write back and forth and have met at camp when we were about 12 years old, and still keep in touch to this day through letters. And it's such a joy to be able to still do that.
Yeah, you reminded me. I had forgotten about this. I had a pen pal briefly as a kid. It was a girl in Japan. And I remember a few times being very excited, going to the mailbox and seeing that airmail, those old airmail envelopes, and getting that letter. It was really something special.
Yeah, there's nothing greater than opening that mailbox and finding something personal inside for you.
How is this, as you've continued to stay with this unique ministry, how has it impacted you as you've continued to do this?
Like I said, it became a personal ministry to me. I have really just loved journaling about the ways that the Lord has used it. It never ceases to amaze me the way that the Lord wastes nothing, and just the simple ways that as I pray over the cards that I'm writing, how they always seem to come right at the right time. It's become actually a part of my discipline when I'm doing my morning devotions, and a big part of my prayer life, that I really enjoy writing out my prayers to people. We often say we're going to pray for somebody as a believer, but then we don't always follow through with that. And so for me, the discipline is actually writing out my prayer to that individual and sticking it in the mail so I don't forget, or writing myself a note, in a couple of weeks to continue to pray for that person and to write out my prayer again and pray over them and send it. So it's a way also for me to make sure I'm doing what I'm saying I'm doing when I'm offering to pray for somebody.
Mm-hmm. I guess final question, if somebody is hearing this and thinking, that's an interesting idea, what would you say to them to maybe encourage them to maybe come up with their own letter or note writing ministry of their own?
So I would just challenge them to come up with, 5 people in your circle of influence that have made an impact to you. Write a thank you note to them. That's a really easy one to start with, and watch what the Holy Spirit does with it. And make yourself a note and just watch what the Lord can do by doing something as simple as that. It's very rewarding to see the way that the Lord can use you in that way. And like I said, it can open doors for you that you never expected.
I'm thinking back also to childhood when, like say you'd have a birthday or something and your mom would insist that you write some thank you notes. I guess mom knew what she was talking about there.
Yes. She had no idea what she was unleashing, and I'm so thankful. I hope that everybody will just take the opportunity to try it and see what the Lord can do through you.
That's Tammy Dunmire, who has both a personal and church letter writing ministry at Victory Highway Wesleyan Church in Painted Post, New York. April is National Card and Letter Writing Month. Please join us again next time as we search for your home, your town, your hero. It's Hometown Heroes on Family Life.
Thank you for listening to this Family Life News podcast. If you've been encouraged by what you've heard, please share it with others and click the subscribe button to automatically receive future episodes. Family Life is a listener-supported ministry. Podcasts like this are made possible by your financial partnership. Find out more at familylife.org.